Welcome to Half 24. Today in the episode, Arsenal gives England a historic bonus in the Champions League. Will there be an absolute record? Darwin Nunez prepares a return to Europe, while Harry Maguire makes his final choice between the USA and Manchester United. A massive scandal with World Cup tickets. FIFA has enraged the fans. Also in the episode, Liverpool officially received a €100 million boost before the decisive battle. We are talking about all this right now. The victory of London Arsenal over Sporting with a score of 1-0 became strategically important for the entire English Premier League. This result officially confirmed that England will finish the current European season in the top 2 of the UEFA coefficient rankings. Thus, next year the Premier League is guaranteed to receive an additional slot in the updated Champions League format, and the country will be represented by at least 5 clubs. For teams currently fighting on the edge of the European zone, this decision is a real lifesaver. An additional place significantly reduces the pressure in the championship, giving top clubs having an unstable season the right to make a mistake. The head coach of the Gunners, Mikel Arteta, after the match, emphasized the importance of this achievement for the prestige of English football. "We always strive to compete at the highest level. The fact that the league received an additional place is a fair reflection of the strength of our championship. But our main goal is to win every match, regardless of the standings," Arteta said. At the same time, the number of England's representatives in Europe's main tournament could reach a record high. If Liverpool wins the Champions League, or Aston Villa or Nottingham Forest triumph in the Europa League while finishing outside the top 5, England could delegate as many as 7 teams. While the Premier League celebrates a mathematical victory, Spain and Germany continue to fight for second place in the UEFA rankings. The career revival of Antony at Spanish Real Betis hit a serious obstacle just before the 2026 World Cup. The Brazilian winger, who tried to restart his professional path after an unsuccessful stage at Manchester United, is again showing a dip in form and has health issues. The head coach of the Sevillans, Manuel Pellegrini, after another flat draw against Espanyol, spoke frankly about the player's condition. The manager of the Verde Blancos explained that the reason for the 26-year-old player's low intensity is pubalgia, a chronic injury of the groin rings that prevents him from training at full strength. What is wrong with him? A bit of everything. First, it is a physical issue because he cannot train every day. Second, because of pubalgia, it is very difficult for him to recover if he spends all 90 minutes on the pitch. "We must treat him with great care," Pellegrini said. Antony's financial history remains a lesson for the entire football world. Manchester United bought him in 2022 for €100 million, but today his market value has collapsed to €25 million. At Real Betis, the Brazilian earns about £80,000 a week, which is a significant decrease compared to his English contract. Despite the overall season statistics of 12 goals and 9 assists in 37 matches, Antony's influence on the team's game is falling at the most critical moment. The situation is also becoming critical for the national team. Antony has not received a call-up to Brazil since May 2025. Since Carlo Ancelotti is set to announce the final squad for the World Cup on May 18th, the winger's chances of getting on the plane to North America look slim. Competition from young stars like Endrick and Estevão Willian effectively closes the door for Antony, whose career is again at a crossroads. A real scandal is brewing around the preparations for the 2026 World Cup in North America. Fans who spent huge sums on Category 1 tickets feel cheated by FIFA's unexpected actions. According to an investigation by The Athletic, organizers revised the seating maps at several stadiums after tickets were sold, leading to chaos and disappointment among spectators. FIFA's financial appetite for this tournament is unprecedented. The organization plans to receive a record income of $11 billion, which significantly exceeds the figures of previous World Cups. The cost of passes for group stage matches today often exceeds $300, and Category 1 tickets for the final match can cost over $1,500. Despite such high prices, the quality of service raises big questions. It is hard not to feel cheated. You buy the highest category tickets for crazy money, and then you see how the stadium map is redrawn, and your seats are actually in a much lower level zone, the investigation says. The problem is that after the redrawing of sectors, owners of the most expensive tickets found themselves in zones previously considered second or even third category. Given that the average cost of attending one World Cup match has increased by almost 40% compared to the tournament in Qatar, fans are demanding immediate explanations and compensation from FIFA. Currently, representatives of the organization are refraining from official comments, which only increases the tension among fans a few months before the start of the tournament. Uruguayan forward Darwin Nunez could leave Saudi Al Heelal as early as this summer. Juventus has officially started negotiations with the management of the club from Riyadh to find out the transfer terms for the 26-year-old player. Nunez's situation in Saudi Arabia became critical after the head coach Simone Inzaghi excluded him from the squad for the domestic championship due to the limit on foreign players. This effectively deprived the Uruguayan of match practice in the National League for the entire second half of the season. Financial indicators of the transfer indicate a significant drop in the player's market position. Last summer, Al Heelal purchased Nunez from Liverpool for 53 million euros, but today his value has collapsed to 25 million euros. The forward's contract with the Saudis runs until the summer of 2028, and his annual salary is about 20 million euros, which is equivalent to £400,000 a week. Clearly, for a move to Serie A, Darwin will have to agree to a significant cut in financial expectations. Currently, Nunez is available only for Asian Champions League matches, where he shows good efficiency, 3 goals in 6 matches. In total this season, he has 9 goals and 5 assists. His next chance to prove himself on the international stage will be on April 13th in a match against Al Sadd from Qatar. For Juventus, this transfer is a priority, but the deal will only happen if the Turin side qualifies for the Champions League. Currently, the Bianconeri are in 5th place in the table, 1 point behind the top 4 with 7 rounds to go. Experienced England defender Harry Maguire has made a principled decision regarding his future. Despite active interest from American Inter Miami, the 33-year-old footballer refused a move to the MLS to continue playing at Old Trafford. Moreover, Maguire has already signed a new deal with Manchester United, demonstrating his desire to finish his professional career with the Red Devils. Maguire's story in Manchester remains one of the most expensive in football history. In 2019, the club paid Leicester a record £80 million for him. Today, given the player's age, his market value is about €8 million. However, for the coaching staff, he remains an important figure in the dressing room. Under the terms of the new contract, which runs until the summer of 2028, the defender earns about £10 million a year. Manchester United is my home, and I cannot imagine a better place to finish my journey in football. My goal is to remain useful to the club and help the team regain its former glory, Maguire commented after signing the contract. The refusal of David Beckham's team's offer emphasizes Harry's sporting ambitions, who even at 33 strives to compete at the highest level in the Premier League. Fans and club management saw this gesture as an act of true loyalty, which is a rarity in modern football, especially considering the financially attractive options in the USA or Saudi Arabia. Liverpool received a powerful squad boost in one of the most difficult moments of the season. The main news for fans at Anfield was the return of Swedish forward Alexander Isak, who finally recovered from a serious injury sustained back in December. Arne Slot officially confirmed that the forward is ready to take the field in the upcoming quarterfinal match against Paris Saint-Germain. Right now, the situation is that I really hope for his availability on Wednesday. This is an important moment for our attack in such a serious confrontation, Slot said. The return of the player, for whom a record €145 million was paid last summer, is critical for the club. Although Isak has not yet justified his price tag, scoring only 3 goals in 16 matches, his market value is still €100 million. At the same time, the club is close to solving a key issue in defense. Ibrahima Konate, whose contract was in its final year, has changed his plans for the future. Despite long-standing interest from Real Madrid, the 26-year-old Frenchman is leaning towards extending his deal with Liverpool. The parties have already held a productive meeting to discuss new terms. Currently, Konate earns £150,000 a week, but his representatives expect a significant salary increase. Liverpool purchased the defender in 2021 from RB Leipzig for €40 million, and since then he has become an indispensable leader of the defense. This stabilization of the squad comes amidst crushing criticism from world champion Christophe Dugarry, who called the team's current form catastrophic. It will be a massacre. Liverpool is playing at a snail's pace. They have no legs, they have no confidence. Slot's players will arrive in Paris terrified, Dugarry said. For Arne Slot, whose team has already suffered 10 defeats in the league, the return of the expensive Isak and the potential contract extension for Konata is a chance to calm the talk of a crisis and prove he can compete with Europe's top clubs.
The trophy, but now it's amazing.